Namaste. Welcome to your yoga practice, your sadhana, your spiritual life path. Today we're going to be exploring the light of awareness. One of the reasons that we suffer, according to tantric philosophy, is that we forget that we are these multiple layers. We get stuck on one of the layers of who we are, or we get stuck in one aspect of our lives, and we forget about all the many aspects that exist. If you think of the last time that you were upset, you were probably focused on one little thing, a fight or an argument that you had with your partner. Maybe you lost your job, and all of a sudden the job and money became a huge focus. So we end up suffering because we become very myopic in the way that we observe our life. In the same way, on the spiritual level, on the bigger level, we sometimes forget that we're not just the physical body, but that we are also our thoughts, we're also our emotions. We forget that we're the breath, and that we're at the core essence of who we are this light, this consciousness, this awareness that is completely free. So in the practice today, we're going to come back to this remembering that we are the core essence of, we're going to come back to remembering that we are the light, this consciousness that is the core essence of who we are. Sometimes this practice can be a little bit esoteric. It almost sometimes feels like when I'm doing it, I'm like imagining that I'm light, like that I'm a beaming light. And it kind of takes, it uproots me a little bit. I'm not so grounded, it's not such a concrete, physical idea to think of myself as light, but this is just one of the ways that we can access the many layers of who we are and kind of open up to the bigger picture of who we are. And at first it might seem a little bit weird, almost like we're imagining or we're like just visualizing, but I would encourage you to kind of take all of your ideas of what you think light is and invoke that in every sense of the way within your body. So visualize it, yes, but also feel it, imagine it, and just allow that and take on the many different qualities. Maybe light to you means like a shining light means like this, having a warmth or a sense of love, or maybe it means clarity to you, or being able to see something more than what you normally see. Whatever it is, whatever that the metaphor of light means to you, allow that sensation, allow that to emote, to be invoked through you in the practice, and to carry you through the practice and support all of your actions. So take a comfortable seat and close your eyes. From the base of your spine, lengthen up through to the crown of your head and expand out through your shoulders. And as you exhale your next breath, find a softness on the outer body, the skin. Now envision this image of light, like a light glowing inside of you, not outside of you, but inside of you. And as you inhale, inflate the inner body. Inflate the inner body. The lungs are inflating, but the whole body is expanding, front, back, left, and right. And as the body expands, envision this light glowing, growing inside of you, moving towards all four corners of the hips, the shoulders, out to the feet, to the arms, and lightening up the face. And then as you exhale, maintain that inner opening, that inner glow, that expansion, and once again, soften the outer body. So as we soften the outer body, we're not taking away from the light. We're remembering, we're maintaining our attention, we're maintaining the opening of the inner body, but at the same time settling into this knowing of who we are, at our core, at our essence. And we allow this spaciousness within to support our every move, every action. Even we allow the inner light to support us here in our stillness. Take another few breaths. Continue nourishing the inner light, almost as if you were putting kindle on a fire in order to allow it to continue to glow and grow. Bring your hands together in front of your heart, and from this inner awareness of an inner sense that you are the light that shines within your own life, that allows you to experience all the many different facets of who you are. Keeping your hands in front of your heart, let's open the practice with 3 sounds of Om. Inhale your breath into the light. Maintaining the inner openness and inner awareness of your core, the light within. Release your hands and open your eyes. So please come to all fours to tabletop position. Separate your knees as wide as your hips and your wrists underneath your shoulders, and lengthen the sides of your body, reactivating the inner light. Inflate front, back, side, left and right, and expand out through the 4 corners. So you're creating what is called in the myofascia anatomy trains of Tom Myers. I'm actually following Tom Myers. So in his language, expand in and create what's called tensegrity, so that there's kind of an even expansion in all directions, and yet that expansion is supported by the inner matrix of the body and the tone of the muscles, the softness in the joints. And from here, inhale into cow pose, letting the back dip down, look up. And exhale, round the back into cat pose. So inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. And explore the opening of the front of the body, the opening of the back of the body, the closing of the back of the body, and the closing of the front of the body. And just a few more breaths. And you can go slower always. And then come back to center. And walk your knees back slightly behind your hips. Inhale and lengthen your spine. And then tuck your toes under and lift up into downward facing dog. In downward facing dog, bend your knees, look forward And even like push your heart forward, almost as if you're coming to a plank pose. So you're kind of like downward facing dog plank. So your butt sticking up, engage the legs, tone your arms, and then inhale into the sides of the body. So make the sides of your body long. Lengthen your hips away from your armpits deep and away from the hips. And then again, soften right between your shoulder blades, right between the shoulder blades. From here, walk your feet together. Kick your right foot up. Keep the knees bent. Keep the knees bent. And then twist. Turn your belly to the right. Now keep the knees bent in order to create a little bit more movement through your lower back. Lengthen the sides of your body. Create space front and back, neither opening the front nor rounding too far in the back. And then come back to center. So it's just a twist without doing too much of a back bend. Lift your left leg up. Keep both knees bent. Both knees bent. If you're not sure, look here. Both knees bent. And then breathe into the sides of your body. Inflate like a balloon, inflating in all directions. And then turn your hips. Turn your belly to the left. You'll feel a stretch from your left arm to your left hip. Inflate to all sides and turn, twist, 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 twist. Good. And then come back to center and rest in child's pose for a few seconds. Enjoy your breath. Good. And then come up to standing. So from standing, take your feet hip distance apart. And here we want to set a clear foundation in the feet. Meaning take your feet hip distance apart and then turn your feet parallel so that all 10 toes point forward, and more specifically, the second toe, the center of your ankle, the line from the center of your ankle to the base of your second toes, that those lines are straight and parallel to one another. And you might notice as you're doing that, what your tendency is. Did you have one foot turned out? Did you have one foot turned in? Were you leaning more on one foot? So try to balance the weight through both feet and lengthen up through both sides of the body, through the front and back of the body. And create length from your collarbones out towards your shoulders and soften the shoulders. Move your hips forward and just feel what that feels like. Move your hips back, notice what that feels like. And then find somewhere in between. Inhale and sweep your arms up. Interlace your fingers with the index fingers pointing straight up and lean to your side. Inhale, back up, lean to the other side. Again. And again. And coming back up, release your arms down. Take your feet wide, once again maintaining the feet parallel. Notice if the feet turned out as you did so. Move the inner thighs back and open your arms into a 5-point pose, hands, feet, crown of the head, lengthening away from one another. Inhale, inflate the body, creating a softness inside first, like soften a little bit, and into that softness start to expand as if you're turning a light on, like a dimmer switch, getting the light brighter and brighter. Let that inner light support the reach of the arms and the extension of the legs. And as you exhale, extend from the center of your pelvis down into the feet. So you press out through your feet and you reach out through your arms. And then relax your arms. Turn your toes to the right, aligning your right heel with the center of your left arch. Inhale, find that inner expansion. Allow the light of your awareness to lift your arms up. with its raise. And then exhale, bend your right knee into Parsva Konasana. Bring your forearm down. Keep length through both sides of the body and sweep your left arm alongside your ear. Feel the tone of your legs supporting the pelvis, and into that tone, move your right buttock down and lengthen out through the spine. Lengthen as though you are shining that light out through the crown of your head, and then inhale to come back up. Keeping your feet on this side, reach your right arm up, lengthen the right side of the body, stretch it all the way up as you draw the right hip down. Extend over your right leg with straight legs, triangle pose, Trikonasana. Touch your shin bone, open your chest. And with toning your legs, soften the hip creases. Soften the hip creases so that your sitting bones widen behind you. The feeling that you're sticking your butt out, but at the same time, it creates an opening in the pelvic floor, which allows the inner light to move in. And then draw your lower belly up, turn your belly towards the sky, look up, and with strong legs, inhale and come up. Relax your arms, turn your feet parallel once again, reach your arms out into 5-point pose. Feel the inner light expanding, reminding you of all the many layers that you are. And then relax your arms, turn your toes to the left, align the left heel with the center of your right arch. Inhale from the glowing light inside, lift your arms. And exhale, press out through your left leg, through your right leg, and bring your forearm down. Parsva Konasana, right arm alongside your ear. Breathe into the back of your waist as you draw the front ribs in. Breathe more deeply into the back of your waist, and then keeping that fullness, start to expand the front of your body, lengthen the sides of your body, and then with strength in your legs, sit deeply in your left buttock. Extend from the core of your pelvis out in all directions, radiating that inner glow through all the layers that you are. Inhale and come up. Keep the legs straight. Lift your left arm up. Lengthen the left side of your body, which tends to get cramped up in these side bend poses. Lengthen it. And then keep it long as you hinge in your left hip and extend over your left leg. The pelvis tilts slowly. The inner light supports you with the inhalation, and as you exhale, turn the chest up towards the sky. Look up towards your top arm and breathe. Really feel, don't just envision, but feel the radiance of your own awareness. Like how we can see into all parts of our body, you know? It's not just a sense, but we actually have we have eyes in all the different parts of our body. Inhale and come up. Exhale the feet in 5-point pose. Parallel. And then relax your arms and walk your feet closer together in Tadasana, mountain pose. Again, be careful with the placement of your feet. As you turn your feet parallel, make sure you make the necessary adjustments in the upper thighs so that there's no tension in your knees. So again, explore. I'm not going to give you specifics just yet. Inhale, reach your arms up. And as you exhale, fold forward into Uttanasana, standing forward bend. Shift the weight over the toes, and with strong legs, soften the center of your knees. Use your breath to access the inner expansion, the inner dimension of your body, and expand it. Expand the inner matrix as you inhale And maintain that inner opening as you exhale. Inhale and reach the arms all the way up. Keep the arms up, sit back into chair pose. Sitting bones move back behind the heels, knees move forward towards the toes. But we don't want pressure on the knees, too much pressure on the knees, nor too much pressure in the buttocks. Tone the muscles of your thighs all the way up into the pelvis. And as you deepen the hip creases more, tone the buttocks in and down. Root through your feet as you lengthen through the spine and through the fingertips. As you inhale, expand from the center of your belly out to the sides of your body. And as you exhale, see if you can sit a bit deeper. For those of you who have a tendency to collapse the knees in, make sure you keep the knees over your feet. And then inhale and come up. And exhale, release your arms down. So it's easy to envision light when things are easy. When life is light, we become light. It's easy to remember the good stuff. It's easy to remember all of that who we are. But it's when life gets dark or when life gets tough that it's harder to remember to keep space for that light to shine. And when we do keep the light shining, then we're able to navigate through the darkness. We're able to navigate through the tough times in life with greater clarity. We're not so myopic. I have a tendency to do that when I get into stressful situations. Like I maximize situations, like they become like my whole world, and then a whole drama will unfold and I forget a lot of the other aspects of my life. So we tend to do that. So here we're trying to remember the bigger picture. We're trying to remember, I am this light, I'm this consciousness, and I can be aware of the things that are not going so well, but that's not the only thing that's happening in my life. That's not all of who I am. And by doing that, we become more skilled at dealing with the difficulties of our life. We don't get so consumed by them, and therefore we can deal with them accordingly. So it's not about ignoring the difficult parts of our life. It's not about ignoring them. It's about getting the bigger picture so that we can better deal with the things that are not going as we hope they would go. Dealing with or accepting. So now Malasana. So for this you might need your blanket. The squat pose. So we're going to go from here, inhale, lengthen the spine, and then as you exhale, you're going to sit back, and you might have to adjust the heels, the feet a little wider, but we want the heels to be down. We want the heels to be down and no pressure in the knees. So if the heels are not on the floor, that's where you're going to use your blanket. You're going to roll your blanket or fold it evenly underneath your heels, and only take as much as you need. You might not need a full roll, okay? So just bring it underneath your heels so that you feel that the heels are grounded. And then if you feel it in the knees at all, you might have to come up and do kind of like a half squat, okay? And just keep toning the buttocks to engage the back of your legs. So it's going to be more work, but it's going to actually give you more strength to support the knees. You can also do this sitting and just take a different pose. Okay? Bring the palms of your hands together, the upper arms in between the thighs, lengthen the spine. Now here we have a pose that's a little bit more contracted. It's a little bit more kind of like the front of my body is squished a bit. So here, this is where I want to remember my inner light, and as I inhale, I lengthen the sides of my body, I try to inflate through the belly, the chest. And even if life is still very contracted, there's this remembrance, and I'm continuously working at creating the space for more light to enter. I'm reminding myself that I am not just this pose, but that there are parts of my body that can expand and even move beyond the contraction of this pose. Press the arms out into the legs and toning the legs all the way up into the buttocks. Hug the legs into the arms. And then release and fold into a wide angle Uttanasana with the feet a bit wider than your hips. And then we'll move the blanket to the side. And take your left foot back. With your left foot back, lift your back heel, rise up onto the fingertips, and bend your front knee over the front of your ankle. Inhale, lengthen the sides of your body. And hugging your legs in towards your pelvis, sit in your thighs. Move the pelvis down and open the heart. Lift your right arm up. Keep the back of the body full. We tend to go into a back bend here. Keep it long in the back and keep hugging your right buttock in. So the right buttock, when we twist, the right buttock tends to go out. So keep the right buttock in. So this is all part of the remembering. So we want to maintain the foundation, kind of the form, the original form of the pose. And then breathe length into the body, expand front and back, and twist, turn more in the upper back. Come back to center. From here, lower your back knee, turn your right toes out to the right. You're going to take your foot back, and we're going to go into a side plank, Vashisthasana. Left hand in front of the shoulder, so not directly underneath. And your back leg, you're going to turn onto the outside edge of your foot. So all 10 of my toes are pointing in the same direction to the long edge of my mat. Now, adjust yourself so you feel long on both sides of the body. Press down through your fingertips and roll your shoulders back, even your left shoulder, roll it back. And then as you press down through the feet, inhale and breathe expansion into the body. Breathe light. So again, the light is not coming from inside, it's growing. The light is not coming from outside, it's growing from the inside. So we inflate, we expand that light, reach the top arm up, open the chest, shoulders back, and from your hips, press down into your feet, and lengthen all the way up into the crown of your head and out through your arm. Good, and then release back down. Step forward, wider Uttanasana. Take your right leg back now. Make sure your hips are parallel to the front edge of your mat and your feet are on separate tracks. Sides of the body long, engage your legs into the pelvis. And even as you engage, remember to maintain the inner space, the inner glow. So you're not compressing that light, you're not limiting it, but you're giving it space to expand. Remembering that, again, you are that light. You are the essence. The essence of who we are is that light, is that consciousness, is that awareness. And then twist to the left. Keep hugging your left buttock in as you turn your chest to the left. Breathe fullness into the back of your body and press front and back into the legs. Lengthen tailbone towards the back heel, crown of the head towards the front of the room. And then bring your hand back down, lower your back knee for a moment. Walk your left heel back and turn the toes out to the left. You're gonna have my back at you this time. The right hand is in front of the shoulder, so not directly underneath, more in front. And you go to the outside of your right foot. Make sure your foot is not collapsing in the ankle. Keep your ankle super strong. Engage your ankle. Lift your toes, lift the outer ankle, and then turn your belly, lift your top arm, roll your shoulders back. Take a deep breath in, remembering the inner light that you are. And as you exhale, press out from your pelvis. Let that light support you throughout the pose. Let the light support you. So when we're connected to that inner light, we don't have to work so hard. And come back down. Good. Come on to all fours. Soften the back and lift into downward dog. And come down onto your knees. So now lie on your belly. Lie on your back. Lie on your back. Take your feet a little wider than your hips. You can even go actually the width of your mat. Open your arms. And lower your knees down to the left. So your feet are wide and knees down to the left for windshield wipers. You're going to take your left foot on top of your right thigh. And this will create a stretch in that right hip and right side body. So make sure here to take a breath and breathe some length into your lower back. Puff it out. All the way up into the chest. And as you exhale and soften that right hip, the right thigh. Soften your shoulders down towards the floor. But don't empty out the light. So if we just kind of like, if we just drop ourselves, we become like rag dolls, then there's no support from inside. And that's where we start to feel some tension in the joints because we're pulling the tissues a little bit too hard. So again, remember the inner light. Breathe in, inflate inside, glow, let it radiate. And then as you exhale, maintain that opening as you soften the outer body. Inhale, come up. Feet as wide as your mat. And exhale, knees to the right ankle on top of your left thigh. And breathe and explore your inner light here. Explore the support. Inhale and come back up. This time, bring your feet a little bit closer together so that they're hip distance apart. Walk your feet in close towards your buttocks. Turn your feet parallel using your inner eye to feel and visualize the alignment of your feet. And then slide your elbows down towards your sides into robot arms in preparation for Setu Bandha Sarvangasana. Bridge pose. And as you inhale, press down into your feet and lift your hips up. At the top, make sure there's no tension in the knees, so engage your legs, turn your inner thighs down, soften your hip creases, and then tone the buttocks and move your tailbone forward, lift up. Open your chest, lift your chest towards your chin, relax your eyes. Press your head down. Feel the body floating up as you inhale. And keep that lightness as you exhale. And exhale to come back down. Relax your shoulders. Take a few moments here. You can take your feet a little wider and bring your knees together. Take a few breaths. Good, let's do a second time. Bring your feet back in. Parallel. And inhale, lift your hips up. So as you're inhaling, make the sides of your body long, all the way up into your armpits. Draw the head of the arm bones, the shoulders up towards your ears, and then underneath the upper back. Lift your chin to clear the throat. And hugging your knees in, soften your inner thighs down, or rather move the inner thighs down and tailbone forwards. Tailbone forward. Deepen your breath. Create long length through your lower back. Breathe down into the hips and all the way up into the shoulders. And on your next exhalation, release back down. Knees together, feet apart. And then inhale and lift your hips up just slightly. Scoop your buttocks towards your thighs and lie on your, and lower your lower back so that the back is more flat on the floor. And then your pelvis will kind of drop. The buttocks will drop. And that will create a little bit of a curve in your lower back, but we just don't want too much of a curve. Open your arms into a T position, cactus. Bring your knees up, feet together, legs together. Tone your abdomen as you exhale. Inhale, lower your knees halfway to the left. Keep your right shoulder down. Exhale. Inhale again, stay here. Exhale, come back to center. Inhale, shoulders stay to the floor, lower your knees to the right, halfway. Exhale here, stay, hold. Inhale, stay. Exhale, come back up. Let's do one more time each side. Again, knees are at 90 degrees, hips are at 90 degrees. Inhale, lower to the left. Halfway. Exhale, stay here. Shoulders on the ground. Inhale, stay. Exhale, come back up. Inhale to the right. Exhale, stay. Inhale, keep the shoulders down. Exhale, come back up. Good. And now bring your knees towards your chest. A few times, just hugging it in, letting it go out, hugging it in, letting the knees go out, hugging it in, letting the knees go out. Now, knees together, and this time we're going to lower the knees, so bring your feet up, and this time we're going to lower the knees all the way down to the left. So I like to shift my hips over to the right so that my left hip here is in the same line as the center of my back, is on the same line as my mat, as the center of my back. Inhale the sides of the body long. Exhale, turn the chest to the right. Breathe. Keep creating space, holding your body in a way that remembers, that shows that you remember the inner light. So we're holding space, holding space. Inhale, come back up. Switch the hips over so I sit my hips on the left side of my mat, knees to chest, and exhale all the way down to the right. Lengthen the back. So make any adjustments so that you feel that your shoulders are parallel to the short edge of your mat. And as you exhale, turn the chest to the left. Inhale and come back up. Reposition the pelvis in the center. Bring the knees to the chest. Press them out. And just let the, press your knees out. Hold your knees with your hands so your arms are straight. Your hands are cupped around the knees. And relax the pelvis. Relax the legs. And release into Shavasana now. Straighten your legs. Not too wide, not too close. Same thing with the arms. Find a nice, comfortable spot on your back. Move the flesh of your buttocks down so your back is a little bit closer, your lower back is closer to the floor. Let it go. Let go of tension so that the inner light can shine through all the layers of who you are. From the core of your body, radiating out into the world, so that you may see not only the many layers of your body, of the internal world, but so that you can also see and experience the universe. Relax the muscles of your face. Relax your jaw, your throat. Relax your arms and your legs. The front of your body and the back of your body. And as you breathe, maintain a subtle glow of that inner light, a remembrance of who you are at your essence. And rest in that knowing. Stay longer in Shavasana if you wish. Or else start to deepen your breath. Start to move your fingers and your toes, reawakening and allowing that inner glow to shine brighter. Bend your knees and roll to your right side and gently press yourself up to sitting. Sit peacefully. Lengthen the sides of your body. Open on all four sides from deep within. We honor that inner light by remembering its presence in all that we do. And when we remember its presence, what we do becomes easier, more harmonious. It doesn't mean that we won't have to exert effort or that that work won't be required. But just remembering our full essence allows us to work in a more skillful way, a more conscious way, a more mindful way. Bring your hands together in front of your heart and maintaining the inner opening of the heart and your connection to your core, your center, your true self. Let's close with one sound of Om. Inhale. Thank you for joining me today. Breathe and be well. Namaste.